This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It's Monday, September 21st. I'm Tori here with Al.
Hello.
Thank you. And you said I look like what am I doing?
News anchor for the Thundercats.
That's right.
I like the outfit, though.
That's exactly right. Lindsay joins us from home. Lindsay looks awesome. How are you?
Hey, guys.
How's the basement of the Y? Feeling good? Feeling good? All right, good.
Chilling, same as usual.
Awesome.
I'm waiting for two kids with like beach towels to go past Lindsay.
Excuse me, do I need a pool pass? That's my favorite thing. All right, we got to talk about this. Everyone is buzzing about last night's Emmys. We've got tons of coverage coming up, including the show's revamped style in the midst of a pandemic, plus some of the historic wins of the evening. So don't worry, stay tuned for that. But first, we have got to talk about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She died on Friday at 87 years old from pancreatic cancer complications. Now everyone is focusing on the fight to fill her seat on the Supreme Court. Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham have vowed that whoever the president nominates will get a vote on the Senate floor before the election. A lot of people are talking about the hypocrisy of this because these same two men refused to allow a vote for President Obama's nominee in 2016.
That was Merrick Garland.
That was Merrick Garland. Great job saying the voters should decide. And Joe Biden had this reaction.
And I believe voters are going to make it clear they'll not stand for this abuse of power. So I appeal to those few Senate Republicans, the handful who really will decide what happens. Please follow your conscience. Don't vote to confirm anyone nominated under the circumstances President Trump and Senator McConnell have created.
So what do we do when we have this information? We ask you, DBL Nation, it's all about you. We want to know what you think. Should the Supreme Court nomination happen before or after the election? So if you're new to this, all you have to do is go to dblvote.com to weigh in. We're going to keep this up here and then read it at the end. Al, what's your thoughts on this? Should Democrats stack the court, or do you think they should wait? What's your feeling on this?
Look, I think we should wait, and here's why. I know people are going to be like, well, you're a liberal. You don't want them to get their nominee through. Here's why that could be a problem. Because we already set a precedent in 2016. We said that we were going to hold up that nomination because that's what McConnell decided. If we go against that now, 4 years later, in almost the exact same situation, what you've done is you've destroyed that precedent, and now you've just shown that we're going to wield power if and when we want to. And if you set that precedent, now we don't have rules. Because if it's just who's powerful, then I'm just going to crush you and I'm going to trample over you, then that doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Checks and balances.
We have rules in place for everything for a reason. So if we take away those rules and it's just the mighty rule, I think we're going to be very displeased by the results that we get.
It's more of a monarchy in some respects. If you guys don't know, the Senate is the body that actually affirms, approves, and consents of every judicial nomination. That's why they're part of this process. Lindsay, what's your take on this?
I think you can't be more committed to your party than you are to the overall moral message of what we're trying to get done. So when you have key senators like Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Susan Collins in Maine, both stepping out that are Republicans and saying we're going to wait and we're going to figure this out the right way, they committed to that and are not going to just vote along party lines. I think we have to stick to the precedent, like Al said, and follow suit, which makes sense because we have a new president coming in, less than 40 days or around 40 days. And the other one, in 2016, we had 8 months. So I don't think in 40 days we should be making those big decisions. And if Trump is reelected, if President Trump is reelected, then yes, he should be the one to decide. But if we do have a new president, then you should allow them to decide. Yeah,
and I think the two issues on the table that everyone's thinking about, of course, is the Affordable Care Act being overturned and Roe v. Wade, which is about abortion. And I think a lot of people feel that with that kind of a switched court, you're going to overturn them. I just want to read you Lindsey Graham's words. He says, I want you to use my words against me. If there's a Republican president in 2016 and a vacancy occurs in the last year of the first term, Let's make the president, whoever it might be, make that the nomination. Use my words against me if you need to. So I think that's super interesting to see him turn. We have the megaphone here says after the election, 76% of you think it should be after November 3rd. 25% of you say before the election. So let me know what you're thinking more detailed. Well, this morning, the president said he actually plans to name a nominee this Friday or Saturday and vowed to choose a woman. But he's also disputing RBG's dying wish that she would not be replaced until a new president is sworn in. Here's what he told Fox and Friends.
Well, I don't know that she said that, or was that written out by Adam Schiff and Schumer and Pelosi? I would be more inclined to the second. Okay, you know, that came out of the wind. It sounds so beautiful. But that sounds like a Schumer deal, or maybe a Pelosi or Shifty Schiff. So that came out of the wind.
So the story is, just so you know, she said this on her deathbed, RBG, to her granddaughter, saying, "My fervent wish is that that seat is not replaced until there is a new president." Lindsay, what do you think of the president disparaging these last words?
I mean, even if the president doesn't want to believe her granddaughter, which is unfortunate, I think that he has to follow suit with what we just said a couple minutes ago when 2016 happened and was decided by his party. You know, that's a huge, important deal. And I think that we have to remember that if we're going to set something as a precedent, we have to follow through with that. And so to be rushing this nominee through when we have just so many days till the election, I think he knows and everyone knows that we should wait.
Al, do you think, I mean, that takes very little. It's sort of cruel is what I mean when it comes to going against someone's dying wish and saying they didn't even really say it.
You know, and Tori and Linz, like I keep saying the same thing in different ways. Either we have rules or we don't. Either we have a moral compass or we don't. Either we have like just some kind of compassion for a human being and a life well lived and a life of service, or we don't. So saying she didn't say that, that's a lie. We're just going to ram this through. Something as important as a Supreme Court pick. If that's how we're going to conduct business, then we need to conduct everything like that. Let's stop with the gentlemanly rules and just wield power wherever we want. But if we do want to have some kind of democracy, some kind of union, which I thought was the whole point of this, I think we need to start looking at how we're conducting ourselves.
Yeah, I agree with you. And President Trump did mention some nice words about her when he did find out, and he was kind. He did mention that and was very gracious about that. So I want to make sure I include that as well. But I think it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because for so many of us, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a hero. She was the second woman ever to be named to the Supreme Court. She was a champion of women's rights, and she paved the way for women to be treated equally before the law. She was also someone who knew what it was like to be treated unfairly. She was rejected for jobs at several top New York law firms and was even denied a clerkship on the Supreme Court, all because she was a woman. Lindsay, what does her legacy mean to you?
I mean, she's a pioneer just from her unmatched work ethic. You could see that she worked all the way through until her passing. And she just was this woman pioneer for women and for gender equality and just somebody who stood firm on her morals. So I think when we're looking for somebody to replace her or people that are politicians or leaders in general, we look to somebody like her to be someone that's so long rested on their morals. And I think that's what everyone can say. And even the kind words, like you said, that President Trump gave and both party lines can see this woman was a stand-up person and somebody who really just fought to better this country.
Yeah. What's funny is that her son went to my high school, and I was able to meet her once after seeing 2 Supreme Court cases. She's this big, okay? She's tiny, but she's this giant in everyone's mind, right? And she is a sweet tooth, so she always has cupcakes everywhere she goes, right? And she's this sort of diminutive woman who doesn't yell, but holds power within herself. And for some reason, Al, I think that's why women especially were personally affected when she died. I know women from college, from high school, from before that, from camp, that called me because something affected us personally. Because
how did it affect you?
I think she represented the part of many women that when she wore that collar, which is that dissent collar, meaning I'm going to go against the majority opinion, it was a part of you that said, it's not going to happen on my watch. And I'm going to be strong enough. I'm not going to be hysterical, but I'm going to